It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. Comprehensive cutting-edge care giving you every reason to choose Hayes Med. United Rentals. Your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. VTI. Your John Deere dealer. With locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. VTI. Our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Royal Roofing. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. And Eagle. Our community connected. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And a good morning and welcome to another edition of Tiger Talk as we talk some Fort Hays State baseball and softball. Good to have you with us here after a nice win for Fort Hays State baseball. Knocked off their second nationally ranked opponent yesterday, a wild one, but they win 14-13 over number 16 Central Missouri, taking a step toward getting into the MIAA tournament. A lot of work still to do, but a big win yesterday for Fort Hays State. We'll talk all about that. We're going to have a couple of player guests with us today, one from baseball, one from softball. Mac Bowie, one of the heroes yesterday for the Tigers, hit the two-run homer in the bottom of the ninth to tie. He'll be joining us here in just a little bit, and we're going to have Hannah Green of the Tiger softball team join us when we talk some softball in the last half of the program. Again, you can chime in. Go to FHSUathletics.com. Click on the Fans tab. You get that drop-down menu, lower right corner. You'll see Ask the Coach, Tiger Talk, and if we use the question, you'll win a Mix 103.3 T-shirt. We're joined now by the head coach of the Fort Hays State baseball team, Justin Wickert. Dropped 2 out of 3 to Central Missouri, but boy, so close to taking 2 out of 3. After a rough run on Friday, they lose in extra innings on Saturday, 4-3, and then come back and win just a crazy game yesterday, 14-13. That was a wild weekend at the ballpark, but you got to be proud of your guys. They've been resilient, battled through injuries, and found a way to beat a really good program, one of the premier programs in the country, and get out of there with a win. That was big.
It was a big weekend. You know, it's been unlike any other year that I've experienced coaching as far as just guys going down. A lot not even related to throwing on the mound, and a couple position players, and some not even related to baseball injuries, you know. But they came out. I mean, I think game one, if you know the game, you kind of know what had happened there. We weren't scoring at that point in time. We had to roll into the pen, give some opportunities. You're going to take some bad losses in the program or in the process of it. But coming back from that, a highly competitive outings on the mound on the second day. You know, we just didn't get the hit that we needed there at the end to win. And then we come back out the last day and you know, I thought everybody competed well. It'd be easy for a team just to give up with everything and all the adversity they went through, but they came out, competed well, and gave us a chance. So. And
you look at that series opener, you look at the final score, 15-2. That wasn't the story. That was a pretty good game until it wasn't. They got on you those last 3 innings and hit 5 homers, I think, in the last 3 frames to blow that open. But you were right there in that one for a good chunk of that game.
Yeah, I mean, Bouts came out, and it kind of lets you know how good his stuff does play. He was behind in the count chronically.
3-0. It felt like every time.
But then he's working back into it, and as soon as he gets, you know, a little bit more efficient early, he's going to be really, really good for us. But he worked through it, and then a rain delay, and if that's something you have never worked through as a pitcher, you go in, you sit around for 30 minutes because there's one strike of lightning, and then you got to come back out, get loose, and go again. You know, and he's still learning that. He's a great arm. He's going to help us. From behind there, we're competitive a couple innings with Bruce, and then he started to miss middle, but at that point in time, we have to save every arm, so you're going to wear it a little bit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, against a team like that, you can't miss middle. I mean, if you're going to miss, you want to miss not in the middle of the plate. There's one thing about being wild, but then being wild in the zone, and they're too good of a team when you play them up like that.
Yeah, and they're well coached. It's a good program. It always has been. You know, you had a chance to win too, though, which is huge. It lets the guys know the potential of the team moving forward and what could have been of the team throughout the whole year if we did stay healthy through the whole year. But
Yeah, but I mean, you can't. You can cry about it, but it doesn't matter. You got to play games, and you've just got to be happy about how they've fought through that. And because I know it's got to be weighing on you, and it's easy to think about what could have been. But for your guys just to keep, after Friday, you could have easily just laid down. Then after the extra inning loss, I mean, that was a game where you probably felt you should have maybe won just to get back off the deck again for them. Shows a lot about these guys, a lot about these young guys on the team, because you've had a lot of youngsters really step up because of the injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at it, there's been a lot of adversity, but that's an opportunity to overcome, and you just got to be resilient through the process. We saw Cooper had been trying to play. He's got some stuff going on with his hand, and he was struggling out there, and then we decided to put Jackson Schlepper in there, and he goes out there, and I think our freshmen combined for 11 hits against a really good team, They're out there playing a little different mindset. They're happy to be on the field. They just want to compete, and man, they were flawless in situational hitting. They executed everything we asked them to, and that's unbelievable. So
yeah, Schlepper had 2 hits coming in a reserve role for Cooper Howell, and then we'll talk more about yesterday's game. But 3 hits from Heckathorn, he had a big day, and then obviously had a big day from Garrett Zaguk. He went 6 for 6. We'll talk about that a little bit. Let's go back to Saturday. But just a really good baseball game, and you got some great pitching from Carter Beving. Started for you. He goes 4, and then nice to have Brandon Chavez back. He gave you a chance. You just they got the 1 run in the 10th inning and find a way to clip you 4-3. That was just a really good baseball game.
Yeah, I mean, Bevins had to step up. Originally, he wasn't going to start. That kind of wasn't the plan for him, but he's had to do it. And then I thought it was a competitive outing from him. He did everything within his ability to give us a chance. And then Chavez came back, and it's kind of like we talked about last time. The better he gets is being efficient and getting ahead early and stuff, just because he had that break there in the middle of the season, the better he's going to be on the mound, and he was absolutely electric.
Yeah, 9 strikeouts. I think it's another 9 strikeout game for him, just 2 walks over 6 innings. That's pretty, especially against that lineup from Central Missouri. That's very impressive.
Yeah, no, it really was. And, I mean, he fielded his position. They weren't driving runs in on him. They tried all kinds of small ball, and he just shut it down. There's a questionable play at the plate. I don't know which way it would have went. It's one of those ones that kind of went against us all year. It could be called either way, and then you don't just see anything clear, and whatever was made stands, because it just wasn't clear enough on the cameras, weren't synced up perfect, and we don't really know if he was safe or if he was out. So,
but just a tough one there. Lose it 4-3, and as we said, you get back off the mat. And game, you had a 6-run lead after 4. You got a 3-run third, 5-run fourth, up 6-3, or 9-3. But that's a good team. The game was far from over, but fell behind and somehow came back and had the heroics in the 9th, which we'll talk about. But that was kind of a microcosm of your season. We talk about getting off the mat after tough losses. You had to get off the mat a couple of times just in that game, but your guys did it and got one of the bigger wins of the year.
I mean, I think it's funny you say get off the mat, because Camp, who's battling and can barely move,
Literally.
comes up to me and goes, "Coach, I can pitch." He'd been cleared through the doctor, and we look at him, and he goes out and he throws 2 innings. And I mean, I've seen him at times not able to be able to move. He got some back issues going on and something with the hip, and he walks out and gives us 2 great innings to bridge us. Jacobs we've had to beat on all year. I'm sure he's still tired, and goes out and competes. And then, I mean, it ended up finding a way to get it done. So.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that was really – and you mentioned Camp, former wrestler at Arizona State. Maybe that's why he decided he wanted to play baseball, not wrestle anymore with the hip and back. But, yeah, you needed all that. And then, got a good start from Luke Berry. Gave you a chance to 1 earned run over 3 innings and got you off to a good start, even though they got those 3 in the second. You're able to answer and get the lead back. That was a pretty big answer, but did enough early on to keep you in that thing.
Yeah, I talked to Luke before the game. I think he's been frustrated, but he's a freshman. He's learning how to perform at this level, and it was one of those deals. I don't need you to be perfect. I just need you to be an excellent competitor. Be resilient. Don't get frustrated on anything. And missed call, you're just trying to run through it so he understands the process. And honestly, I couldn't be happier with the start out of him, and I know he's a key component for us to get to where we want to be and do what we want to do. So,
and we've talked a little bit about the freshmen, and yesterday you had a lot of them have to step up, and it's just amazing to see them come through and do the job they did. That's doesn't happen all the time, but that's exciting.
I mean, the freshmen are unique. You know, they come in, and if you get the right ones, they try to do everything you say and ask them to do. And you get excited to get them out there and watch them be able to execute what they've been working on all year. I mean, they did an exceptional job. Without them, I don't know what the result would have been.
How about Garrettson? 6 for 6 in the game yesterday. He just is a steady guy. Another one of those freshmen. It doesn't seem to do too much. I mean, I think they're all singles yesterday, but he's been a really nice addition in the lineup, getting Woolwine to second, finding a way to get another bat in the lineup, and he's really stepped up to that role at first base.
Yeah, we always make fun of the top of the lineup when we have them all up there. It's a bunch of big guys and we don't run real well, but if you can handle the bat and move runners, and he's done it all year for us, man. As far as a freshman campaign, he's been phenomenal.
Another one of those big guys we're going to talk to here in a little bit, Mac Bowie, obviously the big hit, the 2-run homer. You fall behind, you're down 2 going to the bottom of the 9th. That was obviously a huge hit to get you tied at least. At worst, you're going to go to extra innings. Just talk about his game and that at-bat to get you guys tied.
I mean, you got to first off understand we wanted Mac right out of JUCO. He ended up going to a different school. He finally came back.
Came to his senses, are you saying?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you watch him play. He went through, and he got injured in junior college, but before he was exceptional. There's some frustration in coming back from injury in there. And, I think you watch him like there's a great player in there. You know it's going to come at some point. Just put your head down and work. And when he figured that out, he's only gotten better and better.
Yeah, he's had a really good season. And then, obviously, Derek Woolwine up after him. He gets the back-to-back home runs, the solo shot to right to win it. And I guess that's the guy you'd want up there in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them that had that opportunity, but the foul ball he hit, he kind of knew. I mean, right there, you got no outs on the board, man. Try to win it with one swing right there, and he did. So
that was a nice win. Tigers get it done 14-13 over the Mules, and after losing 28 straight to Central Missouri, they've taken a game in each of the last 2 series, hopefully turning that trend around. Tigers continue the homestand tomorrow. Washburn comes to town. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit, but right now we're going to take a break. We're going to bring Mac Bowie in, talk to him a little bit, get to know him a little bit better, talk about the big home run that he hit yesterday. Tiger Talk brought to you by United Rentals of Hayes, your partner for equipment rentals, sales, and service. Whether it's big or small, find it all at United Rentals. Back with more Tiger Talk after this timeout on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
So I had a gentleman come into Golden Belt Bank, very confused with an estimate of closing costs and fees he received from another bank. And I said I would sit down with him and go over these costs. We also issued some closing costs and fees that he could compare. He ended up choosing Golden Belt Bank as his bank. I would do that for anybody that walked in here, anybody that was confused. I really do want them to get the best deal that they can. We try and do everything possible to make their dream come true. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time.
This is the Tiger Sports Network.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Talking some Fort Hays State baseball with you this morning. Good to have you aboard. A reminder, the program brought to you by Golden Belt Bank, banking one story at a time. Golden Belt Bank of Ames and Ellis. Visit them today at goldenbeltbank.com. Mac Bowie joins us. Tiger Jr. out of Spring, Texas. Went to Hutchinson Community College, Prairie View A&M. Now in his first season with the Tigers. Had the big 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th to tie it yesterday against number 16 Central Missouri. Let's just jump in and talk about that at bat. You had a really good day. I think, 3 hits on the day. That was obviously the biggest. Talk about the 2-run home run and just your thoughts going to the plate, knowing that you had an opportunity with one good swing to tie that ball game up yesterday.
Yeah, well, so
No, you're good.
Yeah. I knew early, that was the same guy that they brought in Friday, and he threw me 3 pitches and got me out really quickly. And I just knew what he had, and I just figured I'd sit exactly what he threw me the same day on Friday. And we had a lot of guys who did a lot of good stuff that day, and I was like, let's end it on a win. Let's go and finish the day off right, basically.
Well, you did it well. That was obviously a heroic moment, and then Derek follows you up and hits the solo shot to win it. And we talked a little bit with Coach. It's all the injuries, and you've dealt with some. Just battling through that and just persevering and just, as you know, I used the term getting off the mat quite a bit this morning, but that's what you guys have really done. It seems like you maybe get someone back, someone else goes down, but you know, it seems like you're starting to get into a groove. It sounds funny dropping 2 out of 3, but you very easily could have taken 2 out of 3. You got the nice win over Emporia, and you beat Pittsburgh State. It feels like you guys, despite all that, maybe starting to get a little rhythm right now and maybe making a nice late season push.
Yes, sir. A lot of the guys have been stepping up big time for us. We've had a lot of tough games that could have went either way throughout the entire year with all the stuff we've been through. But we have guys stepping up that's playing a big role for us. Mentioned Cookie earlier. I mean, he's had to be the most casual 6-for-6 day that I think I've ever seen. And that was also another thing I was thinking. I was just like, I mean, he had a great day. Let's go cap that off too. Like, It's not like that go to waste.
Yeah, and do you give advice? I mean, you're a veteran. You've been around a little bit in collegiate baseball. To some of these freshmen, you just kind of let them go do their thing.
I kind of let them do their thing, honestly. Like, I mean, if I see a guy and I see what he has, then I'll go relay it to him. Just, hey, look out for this. Me and Cookie are both bigger boys, as well as Woolwine. So, like, we get pitched pretty similar, so we try and all talk to each other, especially us lefties. So nice.
Derek gets to play second. Have you asked Coach to put you in at second base this year yet? Maybe a little rotation going there?
I tried short.
Oh, okay.
He really didn't go too well.
The way it's going with the injuries, who knows? Keep that glove ready. You might need it this year. We're talking with Fort Hays State's Mac Bowie, one of the transfers for this season, who hit the 2-run homer yesterday to help the Tigers pull out the 14-13 win over Central Missouri. Spring, Texas, Klein High School. We'll talk about your journey to Fort Hays State, but we hear so much about high school football in Texas. What's high school baseball like in Texas?
I mean, it's just as competitive, honestly. Texas high school football is fun and all, but baseball is, you see dudes coming through Texas high school baseball day in and day out. And I also think that's part of the big reason why Garrett has stepped up big, because this isn't anything that he hasn't seen going through Texas high school baseball. And we were in the same district, so we didn't get to quite play with each other. I'm a little bit older, but that district that we're in is pretty tough, so I think it's pretty fun.
Did you play football or were you just a baseball-only guy?
I played football.
I figured you had to. You're a big guy. What position?
I play linebacker.
Linebacker, okay, cool. Well, I imagine you're pretty good on a football field, too.
Yes, sir. Baseball was just like my first love. Had more fun with it. I mean, I enjoy going to hit people, but at the end of the day, baseball was always where I had.
Gave up hitting people for hitting a baseball. That's
right.
Probably a good trade-off. Hutchinson Community College, redshirted there. You're in 2022, came back, had an injury, 32 games, and then Prairie View A&M. Just talk about, I know Coach said they tried to get you after that. You ended up going to Prairie View, but your journey from those two stops and how you ended up being a Fort Hays State Tiger.
After JUCO, after Hutch, I really wanted to come here. Wick sold me on getting here and everything like that, but at that point, I was away from home for 2 years already, and Prairie View A&M's only 45 minutes from the house, and my mom, my dad, my family, just like, we wanted you home. So I went home, played there, and then ultimately I just knew I needed to come here.
Well, we're glad to have you. You've had a really good season, and one of the reasons the Tigers starting to find their stride a little bit. Let's talk about what's left. I mean, we're getting down to the backstretch of the season. Right now, you're in the tournament, but you got a lot of work to do. Big game with Washburn tomorrow. You got another one with Emporia for the midweek, and then some key series the last 2 weekends of the year. But does this team kind of maybe see there's a path to get to the tournament, not only get in, but maybe improve their seed and hopefully get there and make a little push?
Yes, sir, most definitely. This team we're resilient. We've fought through a lot. We've worked for it all through the fall, through the spring now. And it's just about the right team getting hot at the right time. And I think on this back stretch, we've won some tough games that I'm sure a lot of people didn't think we could, but we did it. And it's just building confidence throughout the entire team, and we're just building on it.
What's Coach like to play for? I want to put you on the spot. It's just sitting right over there.
No, it's great playing for him. I mean, he knows his stuff. He gets us in the right positions to succeed, and you just can't ask him for anything more, honestly. He helps us any way he can, and it's amazing playing for a coach that gives you an opportunity to go out there and do you.
Well, you've done that. You've taken full advantage of it. It's fun to see the freshmen take full advantage of it. I mean, we talk about it. It's totally been a team effort. It seems like there's probably been, I have to go back and check for other seasons, but there's probably been more guys play this year than in significant, a playing time than ever before. But that's kind of fun to see. You always hear in football the next man up mentality. It's kind of what you guys have adopted, but it's fun to see this whole team kind of embrace that. And, hey, let's go out and get them every time out there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Mac, we appreciate the visit. Great job. Nice home run yesterday. Hopefully many more like that here as the season continues to unfold. But we really appreciate you taking some time to join us here this morning. Good to visit with you. Good to get to know you better. And keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
There you go. Mac Bowie, he hit the two-run homer yesterday. A Tiger designated hitter, our guest here on Tiger Talk. The program brought to you by the Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop, you've never had it so good. We will take another break. We'll come back, get some more comments from Coach Justin Wickert as Tiger Talk continues on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
At BTI, we pride ourselves on providing quality John Deere equipment and customer support. Since 1944, BTI has been serving farmers and commercial operators with mowers, tractors, and compact construction equipment at an affordable price. As a leader in the ag industry, BTI offers complete technology solutions so our farmers can help keep America running. Experience the BTI difference for yourself.
Call on BTI.
Our family in partnership with your family.
This is the Tiger Sports Network.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. 4-day state baseball back at home tomorrow. The Washburn Ichabods come to town to wrap up that 3-game midweek series. Tigers have them in Emporia for their midweek, so they'll close the Emporia out next week in Emporia. Justin Wickert joining us once again. Well, nice to chat with Mac. I'm sure they all call him Big Mac. Big guy, but had the big home run and can certainly see why you gravitated to getting him in the program. Just seems like a really good guy and someone probably a good influence for some of these youngsters who've had to step up with some key roles.
He is. I mean, he's awesome. He's a great personality. Usually energetic and stuff. He didn't mention to say that I'm probably the hardest coach he's ever played for, but, I mean, I don't believe in sugarcoating anything, and I think life's tough, and there's more to what we do as coaches than just trying to go out and win baseball games, and you got to prepare them for the real world, and, it's not all right to be told everything's okay all the time.
Well, but they seem to be responding to it, and I guess that's maybe what's been fun about the young guys who've been thrust into these roles, stepping up and as you said, executing on the hit and runs or the sack bunts or whatever the case may be, the little things that win baseball games.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's just part of them getting out there and getting to work on it, but also they've been traveling with the team. They've seen whenever it's been filled, and at situations with some older guys, they know it's important, but they'd been out there at the games to see how important it can be. So I think they, they were happy to have an opportunity to go out there and get a chance to try to execute, and they did.
Well, and for guys like that, I mean, I know they go through their routine, and it can sometimes just, okay, it's a routine, I'm not going to play today, but being ready, because you don't know. And I would think by now, as the season has gone with all the injuries, that everybody's maybe in that mode, hey, I better be ready, because it could be today, but, you got to take those routines seriously and soak all that in because you don't know when your moment may come.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cook knew. We always call him Cookie, but he knew kind of early because some older guys had failed, and he walked in there and he got an opportunity and capitalized on it. I don't know with Heckathorn or Schlepper, I just all of a sudden said, Schlepp, go get hot because he's been practicing hard. There's been a lot of good stuff going on at practice with him. You have a guy injured. We want Hal back healthy.
You're right.
But we got to have somebody that's got enthusiasm, that wants to go out there and compete. And honestly, I don't think the freshmen have any pressure on them. It's an opportunity to go play the game they love. So
now, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. You just go out there and play, and hopefully they can continue that this year and throughout their careers. Tigers back at home tomorrow. Washburn comes to town. Final of that 3-game midweek. First game not so good. Way back in I think it was end of February. You probably felt like you gave one away maybe in Topeka a couple of weeks ago. Now you get them here, and kind of like yesterday, boy, it was important to win at least one of those. I think vitally important to try to win, obviously, every game, but take one from Washburn, a team you're battling with for positioning to get into the MIAA tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, the one that we just lost recently at their place was part of that 11-game road trip, and I mean, we're up. We got walked off. We were thin. We were 2 days away from getting Chavez, who probably would have walked out there and shut it down. We had a sun ball get up, and then all of a sudden a ball that found the only piece of fair territory down in the right field corner that allowed them to tie it up, you know. And if we got the first out, if the sun ball doesn't get in, I mean, it's tough when you're one step late. You got your glasses on, you take them off because of glare, and then all of a sudden you're just one step late on a ball, and it happened. So,
but yeah, now you come back. As you look at that Ichabod team, I mean, they're been kind of like you, a little bit up and down. What stands out about them? What's going to be the key tomorrow, you think?
I mean, they're going to show up to compete, and we got to show up and compete. And I think the team is going to be the most resilient out there. I think with all the MIAA midweeks, pitching-wise, is going to be a grind for even healthy teams, you know, for us more so. But you're going to put your guys out there and ask them to compete and give you a chance. And you know, we need to be offensive tomorrow too. So
I was going to ask you about, you know, Coach, you like to, you know, kind of map out your pitching rotation and what you're going to do. I'm guessing that's been thrown out the window a long time ago. Tomorrow could be one of those committee days, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we'll take a roll call and we'll see what's available. That's all we can do, you know, and then we're going to try to come into a non-conference weekend and try to kind of reset the pitch and give us a chance to win another MIAA midweek after it, but we want to grab the 3 wins on the weekend too if we have a possibility to do it. So
that's going to ask you about how you approach Colorado Christian. Everybody has a weekend in conference play where they don't play a conference foe, and this, it's coming up for you. I guess in a way it could be good. You obviously still want to go out and win those baseball games, but hopefully can kind of get that rotation reset, as you said, somewhat as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some opportunities given to guys too in there because, I mean, obviously your conference games are the most important, but at the same time, a win's a win. So we're going to try to pitch them and win them, and then we're also going to try to structure the arms that are healthy, that have been performing, to give us the best chance as we get through that last midweek to go into the last 2 weekends and try to seal our bid into the conference tournament.
You know, one thing we didn't even talk about, your midweek with Emporia last Tuesday, this past Tuesday, 3-0 shutout win. Played really well, got some very good pitching. Jacobs was obviously phenomenal out of the pen to seal that victory, but that was just a solid baseball game. Well played by your guys.
I appreciate it. I mean, they did play well. You know, Jacobs, the funny thing was he was kind of short-rested there, but he just kept getting stronger. And then I need to get him just a little bit more time off, and I don't know when that's going to come. But I know when you hand him the ball, he's going to go out there and compete and give you a chance. So
how do you determine that? I mean, you're a former pitcher. When you bring in a guy, you have an idea how much, you know, what the pitch count, what you want to get out of him. But then he's dealing and he's in a groove and he's telling you, hey, I feel fine. How do you balance that to, you got more games to play, obviously want to protect him, but hey, he's on a roll right now.
I think every individual is different. You know, if you ask me, whenever I was pitching, I didn't care about pitch count. You know, I'd start the first game, close the second game on the same day to pitch out of the midweek and do it again on the next weekend. I think there are some guys that you got to watch out a little bit, but I think as they get older and they know themselves, they communicate with you well of where they are, you know, and if they're ready to go, you give them the ball, and if they need some more time, you wait and you let them recover. So.
All right. Well, hey, great job yesterday. Fun ball game. We'll see you at the ballpark tomorrow. Hopefully equally as fun, and a win over Washburn. Coach, as always, appreciate it. Thanks for bringing Mac with us. Good to visit with him, and we'll see you at the ballpark tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you.
There you go. Justin Wickert, head coach of the Tigers. Again, Washburn in town, 3 o'clock start. We're on the air at 2:40 with the Auto World pregame. Then 3 this weekend, 3 non-conference games with Colorado Christian. Look your best on Tiger Game Day with official Nike gear from BSN Sports and the Sideline Store. Go to FHSUathletics.com. Click on Shop. You'll find hundreds of products and designs, and they're all customizable. FHSUathletics.com. Click on Shop and open up the Tiger Team Store. We'll talk some softball with Adrian Pilkington when we return on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Looking for unique flavor at low prices? Look no further than Taco Shop in Hayes. We have original, made-from-scratch Mexican food, sure to satisfy an empty stomach. Take a bite out of these delicious deals. Grab a beef or cheese enchilada, bite into a beef and bean burrito, or chow down on a Sancho. Save time with our free Taco Shop app. Have delicious fresh taste in just a few taps. Dine in, get it to go, or have it delivered. Taco Shop. You've never had it so good.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it
is the Tiger Sports Network.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, talking softball now. Head coach Adrian Pilkington joins us. Rough weekend in Oklahoma for Tiger softball. They go 0-4, and boy, outside of game one, you lose that to Northeastern State 10-2. You were right there in every other one, and just couldn't get it done, unfortunately.
Yeah, and even that 10-2 game, is a game we were in.
It was 1-1 after 4.
It was, and we were off.
Actually up 2-1, yeah.
Yeah, we took the lead in all of our games this weekend, which is good. But we were off because of lightning, back on, off, back on, and I think sometimes those stretches is like just getting lucky right when you come back, and we had to go back on defense. And right before the lightning strike, there was a reviewed play at third where I challenged the runner being out at third, and I mean, it seemed clear as day to me that she was out, and he called her safe. But then when they went back to review it, there's too much dirt that had kicked up, and so they didn't have enough to overturn it. And I felt like that momentum sway was ours, to grab. And then we had to stay out there a little bit longer and try to get our third out, because I would have ended the inning, put us right up to bat, and I thought we were probably in a position to run with it, but. We also had a 3-run home run robbed that game. So, it's just kind of little momentum things that I think make a big difference. And, getting back out on the field and having to play one inning was just tough.
Yeah, that does make it tough. And it's funny how a little thing, how that can swing momentum, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it work both ways, but it's funny in this sport how that can happen. And it can seem insignificant, and you go back afterwards like, wow, that was just a big turning point.
Yeah, I mean,
too much dust to overturn a call.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Cubs won a World Series over it,
well,
so
that's
it's one of those things you can see where it goes one way or the other, and it's just kind of who's ready for that moment. And I do think our team was a little frustrated with that call, because it was a double trying to stretch to a triple, and I mean, I thought she ran right into the glove. So I think that was just another piece of it that you can't let those things get to you. But I think we're all frustrated by it because we were coming off thinking we were ready to hit.
Mm-hmm. Well, someone who did, we're going to talk to her a little bit. Hannah Green, 3 for 3 in that first game for you, and she's had a pretty steady bat most of the season for you gals.
She's just so consistent, and the thing that I will say about Hannah is I don't know that any of our kids work harder than her. Every day she shows up. She's ready to lead the group and get them going and get them fired up. But at the same time, she competes with herself, and she does a great job of just going out there and working hard, because she knows what it takes to be successful.
Game 2, and you talk about the frustration of Game 1. It got out of hand in the last couple of innings. But, man, you had you jump out to a 3-0 lead. You get the extra run in the 7th and just couldn't close the deal in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, we gave up a couple hits, and then we had a couple miscues in the defense, just playable balls that we could have done something more with. And again, it's all momentum related. As soon as one of those little things happens, it's like, all right, we got a chance, and I think we just let too much of that sway their way. And it's hard when you're on the road, being away, the away team every time, and having to go out there and close it out. And we got to find a way to win the tight ones. We're in all of them, and a lot of them are, 1 or 2 runs. And so we got to find a way to go out there and either, extend that lead further in the late innings of the game, or find a way to close it out, on the other side of the ball.
And not to make excuses, but you do have a young pitching staff, and how much of that is just, the lack of experience and just going through these situations and, keep learning from them to get better by them.
Yeah, we just kind of talk to them about, we don't fail, we learn, and, we just try to grow. And I think a few of them have made really big strides in the circle for us. Unfortunately, they just don't have a lot of experience. And, I think the biggest piece of wanting that experience is the confidence part of it, right? Once you've been there, you've done that, you can actually be where your feet are and not be overwhelmed by a moment.
Tigers then go to Claremore, take on Rogers State. Always really, really good, and 2 highly competitive games. You lose 5-3 and 5-2. You scored 2 in the first in both of those games, and we've seen some. Rogers State can be really, really tough to beat, especially at their place. You're again right there with them. Just couldn't come up with some big hits when you needed them.
Yeah, I think between the doubleheaders there, we left 14 runners on base.
Wow.
So that was tough. It just and we had opportunities because the top of our lineup between Hannah and Peyton could steal, and we were stealing them once and sometimes twice on the fake bunt. And so we had chances where we got runners at third with less than 2, and we just just couldn't get, a situational hit, and that's what we were looking for. And, unfortunately that just didn't swing our way. And I felt like we really had them a couple different times. But, again, it's either you got to find a way to extend that lead later in the game or pitch in some tight spots. And, it's just something we got to grow and learn from.
It's the game. You talk about hits, and, it's 7 in the game. You out-hit them. But it's so much down to the situational. I mean, you can bank up a lot of hits, but, boy, getting them.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say that because those are usually the high-pressure, high-leverage situations, but that's the name of the game.
Yeah, and, I mean, their hits just happened to be a little bit more timely, and a couple of them left the yard where ours were just, we were kind of singling them to death and just, finding ways to pass the bat, and that's what we need to do. So, I felt like that was a great job on our offense part.
How's the team hanging in there? Because it's been a tough stretch here the last few weeks. Obviously, work to do to get into the conference season. You've got some youth to go along with the veterans. How's everybody hanging in there right now?
You know what? I'm just super proud of them because they show up every single day ready to work, and I just think that they're letting some stuff roll off their back. I know they're frustrated, but at the same time, I think they show up. They're ready to work. They're eager to learn every day. And you know what? I will say, probably better than many of my other teams in the past. This team does show up and compete every single day. So, I think they're so close, and, it just, like we said, it just takes one thing to go your way, and we get a little momentum back and get on a run.
We'll talk more about this week. Tigers back at home for a couple of big conference doubleheaders this weekend, but though Mac, we talked to him a little bit ago, Mac Bowie for the baseball team, it's just getting hot at the end and getting hot at the right time, and that's the key, and you're getting close to the right time now as we get down the stretch here the last few weeks of the season. But hopefully, even though you didn't win those games, you can take the positives out of that and get on a bit of a run here.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like we always play the good teams really well, and that's something we've done all year. So, it's something we want to carry over into the weekend. And, it's senior weekend. They got a little bit more to play for, something a little more motivating, within the lineup. So, hopefully we're ready for what's to come.
Well, we'll talk to you more here in just a little bit, but we're going to switch gears here after the break. We're going to talk with our second player guest, Hannah Green, leading the Tigers in hitting, the outfielder for Fort Hays State. We'll get some comments from her, and we'll preview the weekend with Coach as the show continues. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Hays Med Orthopedic Institute, offering the most comprehensive and advanced orthopedic care in Western Kansas. Why travel hours when the best in the region is right here at Hays Med? We'll take a break. More Tiger Talk next on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
This is the Tiger Sports Network.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, brought to you today by Royal Roofing, the #1 local roofing company. Roofing, guttering, siding, windows, and more. Call Matt today and get your free estimate and give your home the Royal treatment with Royal Roofing. Joined now by redshirt sophomore outfielder Hannah Green, a Florida Atlantic transfer, playing in her first season with the Tigers after battling injury and sitting out last year. Hannah, appreciate you joining us. I know you came right over from class. What class did you have this morning?
I had chemistry.
Chemistry? I'll give Coach credit. I mean, I think we had Peyton Shepard. Was it physics she came from last time? And then you're coming from chemistry. Some pretty heavy stuff. What's your major?
Human biology.
Human biology. There you go. So what do you want to do? Or do you know yet?
PA school. I'm looking more toward like the dermatology route.
Okay, cool. Very good. Well, I appreciate you joining us after class here this morning. We touched on it with Coach. Kind of a tough weekend for you guys, but you're right there in every one of those games. How frustrating is it for everybody?
It's definitely frustrating because I do think we compete every single time, and we easily could have come out this weekend 4-0, and it's literally just one swing away or one play away, one pitch away every single time, and I think that's the most frustrating part. But I think that it's definitely like learning curves every single time, and instead of like getting frustrated at one person, it's really like pieces throughout the game that come together in the end. Now there are big things like a big pitch, a big swing, a big hit, a big run that could come in and I guess take over for the win in the end. But the little pieces that come together could either win or lose the ball game. And I think that's what we need to focus on more, is fixing the little pieces than focusing on the big moments, because I think that's when pressure can get to someone.
Well, and probably those little things, the big moments, take care of themselves then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about you a little bit. You for Liberty High School in the Kansas City area, North Kansas City, went to Florida Atlantic, redshirted there. Just talk about how you found Fort Hays State and how you ended up being a Tiger.
So when going into the transfer portal, I was just looking for some more opportunities to be able to play. Now, during that summer, I was dealing with what now was my injury, but I had no idea at the time. I was just in a lot of pain trying to maintain it while also looking for schools and obviously hoping not to be injured, because it's really hard to not only transfer without stats and having those numbers to be able to prove yourself, but also now I came in with an injury, so it's like I can't even play yet. Like, you don't even know what I'm capable of, what I'm made for. I don't have anything to like back myself up, so that was really hard. But when going into the transfer portal, again, like I said, I was looking for an opportunity that I was not getting at my last school, and the transfer portal is completely unknown. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. Obviously, people go into it and can't even find a place to, play, and it's just the end of their career there. And so going into that, obviously, is a little bit like, you can get a little anxious and nervous. And it was actually funny because my dad was telling me he wanted me to come back home. He went to FAU, so that was the reason I went.
Okay.
He has family down there, so that's like my second home. That's where I lived before Kansas City. So I was really comfortable, but it just wasn't working out with me, like for me there. So that was okay. I just had to make, that change. And my dad was like, "Oh, what if you came back home?" And I love change. I don't mind it. I love seeing new places and meeting new people. So I was like, "Nah, I don't really want to go back home." But he was like, actually one of the schools, he was like, "What if Fort Hays reached out? What if these schools reach out?" I was like, "No, that's not really what I'm looking for, but I guess I can't be too picky in the transfer portal." And a couple days later, I took a screenshot of my email from Coach, and I was like, "Dad, you won't believe this."
It's like it was meant to be.
It literally, he called it. So I went on the visit here. I had a couple other ones lined up, but honestly, time was ticking and I had to make a choice. And I think this was the best choice that I had at the time. And then it was even harder knowing for sure right before I got here, I cannot play. I tried everything I could to keep pushing through, and my body just was not taking any of it. So I came in and I was like, I can't play. And being able to have the opportunity not only to transfer and have the opportunity to play here, period, but also her believing in me and waiting a year with me and being there for me during my recovery process to be able to play was just, I'm so thankful and grateful for the opportunity that I have right now.
And talk about that. You have the injury, and you didn't play the 1 year at Florida Atlantic, and you have to sit out, last year as a Fort Hays State Tiger to heal and rehab and get yourself ready. It had to be so frustrating when you're used to going and playing and playing and playing. What was that like? How did you stay sharp? And maybe did you improve in a funny way just because you're able to kind of take it in from a different perspective a little bit?
Yes, 100%. Whenever I had the injury at the time, right before transferring, I was not in a good place mentally. I'm very religious. So I was praying constantly for an answer or help or strength constantly. And the injury happened almost at the best time, because before that I have never given myself a break. I'm always go. I constantly just work to get better every single day I can. And so the injury happening at that time forced me to take a break. And while sitting out, I realized, I told myself, this is either gonna tell me, you know what, maybe softball maybe that was the end. It's unfortunate, you got to move on with life. But it really just grew my passion more. It grew my drive more. So instead of maybe taking at that time of recovery, taking the passion and the love and the practice of the game, I put it all into my recovery process. And my recovery process was supposed to be about 9 to 12 months, and I cut it down to about 5 months. I think due to how much effort and work I put into it. And I think that really shows now. And so now coming back into it, I'm just so grateful to not only be back on the field, but I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. I'm stronger than I've ever been in my life. At this point, yes, knock on wood, let's hope, but I just am at a great place in my life right now, and I think that injury honestly did me the best it could have ever done.
Do you feel you're maybe a better player now because of it?
Yes, getting back to softball not only was so relieving, I was finally I get to do what I love so much, but it's also I was not worried getting back to it, I've done it my whole life, muscle memory. Mm-hmm. So honestly, swinging the bat was not abnormal. You haven't done it in 5-6 months, but I was no, the minute I was cleared, I grabbed that bat that day, and it just all came back. And I didn't lose anything. I only gained everything. So,
visiting with Hannah Green, Kansas City product, Liberty, Missouri, redshirt sophomore outfielder for the Tigers, leads the team in hitting with a .431 average, second in stolen bases behind Peyton Shepard. Pretty good 1-2 punch with that speed at the top of the lineup. What's that like? And softball, it's unlike baseball. Obviously, you can't get a lead off. But what are you looking for when you're at first, trying to steal a base? Take us through the process in softball for maybe some of us who don't understand it quite as well as just without having the lead and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, working with Peyton, we're just both we are the same player, but in different fonts, and it works so insanely well because especially when being fast in the front of the lineup, we can't have that lead. You don't want to leave early. I have caught myself leaving early a couple times, so I've worked on that. But getting that lead off, I like to play with the catcher and the other team. So the other team's always whenever fast people are on base, you're always trying to call out the runner to help the catcher, know so that she can get the ball down there to get the girl out. And I like playing with them a little bit. I like to take as aggressive as leads, whether I'm stealing or not, just so I can hear the going from the other dugout and them trying to call me out. And then I give a little smile to my dugout whenever it happens because I got you. I got
the game within the game.
Yep. So I don't know. It's kind of I love base running. It's my favorite part of the whole game. It's just fun for me. I get to, not only because I'm fast, so that's a big advantage for me, but also because I just like to, play the game in the game. It's fun.
All right, let's talk about a couple series left, 3 of them left in conference play. Obviously, this is a big home weekend for your gals, and that kind of, you and Coach have talked about, it just feels like you guys are close. If you can just get on a little bit of a roll, can get to the conference tournament, and who knows if you can get there. It's all you need to get there and have a chance to maybe make a run. What's it going to take?
Yeah, like Coach said, we compete with every single team, and we are literally just a swing away, a pitch away, a play away. And I think when we get it at the right time and work more situationally, and people, I guess, I trust this team so much, and I know we can go so far. And I think that's what frustrates me deep down, is that I believe in them so insanely much, and I think they get caught in their own heads because the amount of work that not only I put in, but I know my teammates are putting in, I know the work they're putting in. I know how much they love the game. And I just want to see them succeed so much, more than even myself, because I know we can do it. And I think that when we get this run, and I believe we can go 4-0 this weekend, I really do, especially showing how we competed with Rogers for sure. And I believe in them so much that if we do get, and when we do get into this tournament, I do think we can make a insanely deeper run than anyone thinks. I really do, because I think that's when it's just going to click, because you got to leave it all on the field at that point. And I think that's when I will see my teammates and tell them that the preparation and the work that I have seen them put in this whole time, this whole season, off season, in season, and when I see that all pieced together, it will truly be left on the field. And I think they will play their hearts out, and I will finally get to see, and everyone else will get to see the results and how we are actually as a team because of the preparation we have put in.
All right, sounds exciting. Should be a lot of fun. Hannah, we got to move on. Really appreciate you stopping by. Good to get to know you better. Glad you're healthy and looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Hannah Green, our player guest today for Tigers softball. We're going to take our final break, bring Coach in, preview the weekend, final home weekend of the season. We'll do that next on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Tired of equipment that's seen better days? Or maybe you have a project that requires a bigger machine than you own. This is Blake from United Rentals in Hayes, and we have you covered. Whether you're a contractor, a farmer, or working on your own project, we've got the machinery you need. Big or small, and everything in between, you can rent it for a day, a week, or a month. And if you're looking to own, we have a huge inventory of reliable used equipment for sale. Plus, we can service and repair the equipment you already own. Stop by United Rentals on South Vine in Hayes. We're your one-stop shop for rentals, used equipment sales, and repairs.
This is the Tiger Sports Network.
Welcome back. Final segment of the show here this morning, talking Tiger softball. It's all brought to you by BTI, your full-service John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. Good to visit with Hannah Green. Obviously been a big, vital part of this team. And, boy, she's got me fired up. And, boy, you just get on a roll here. You got 2 more home series, Friday with Newman, Saturday, Central Oklahoma. Just get a little momentum. I mean, sky's the limit for this team because we've seen they've been really close against really good teams. Just now, hopefully, can just put it all together here at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, the ball's in our court. You know, we got to just go out and do our part. And, you know, Hannah's right in what she said, where it's just kind of little things that kind of compound, whether that's a win or a loss. You know, what are we doing with the little things and how are we taking care of the ball?
I mean, you look at your schedule, you've got 2 teams below you in the standings, and you can't take anybody lightly. You got to go out and play. And then you have UCO, which is always a powerhouse in this conference. But the path is there, but you got to now prove it and do it on the field.
Yeah, I mean, we got to take care of our part, and, you know, it's time for us to just kind of step up and take ownership of that. And, you know, yeah, you can't look past anybody, but we did have kind of a tough stretch there. Mm-hmm. You know, coming off, we had Pitt, we had Southern, we had Washburn. We had some of those that were just kind of made it a little bit of a rough stretch for us, but we're ready for our next opponent.
All right, should be a lot of fun. As you said, senior weekend, get a chance to honor them. They've been a big part of the program.
Yeah, they've been really great kids for us, so if you're free over the weekend, come out and support them.
All right, Friday and Saturday. We'll have Friday's doubleheader here on Tiger Radio Mix 103.3. Tigers play the Newman on Friday, then UCO on Saturday. Coach, as always, appreciate the time. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
There you go. That is Adrian Pilkington, head coach of the Fort Hays State softball team. Big thanks to our player guests, Hannah Green and Mac Bowie. Good to visit with them and get to know them a little bit better. And we'll do it all again next week. Tiger Talk again next Monday. Hope you can join us. Well, not. We'll see you at the ballpark. Baseball tomorrow. Fort Hays State and Washburn will be on the air at 2:40, and then Fort Hays State softball and Newman on Friday on the air at 1:40 for that one as well. That's going to wrap up the program. We'll talk to you next week right here on Tiger Talk.